problem with nofap is women become irresistible, so it's harder to say no to them. Even though you know they're using you. Good sex is worth a bit of abuse sometimes. Like, I had a girlfriend who was emotionally abusive, like a textbook example of that. But she gave good head. So that was enough to make the relationship last almost 2 years. Pretty nuts, right? I don't care how good I am at giving head. I don't like being abusive because I've been abused. So I'm likely to do it to others, and that's a scary idea, isn't it? Like, someone did a joke about how they were molested, and they said it was a power thing. The punchline is that I don't want to talk about this guy's joke. Anyway, I'm skipping ahead. This monologue is really weird and dark. I was really mad when I wrote this. Holy crap. Dude, like, some people, they need to, like, write jokes to be funny. I could get a laugh just by saying it's a nice day out, because my delivery is developed. It makes it hard to write because I could kill with a fully improvised set. Not bragging, it's just true. It's a weakness because in response to that skill, I have very little actual material. Most of my jokes are like 2 or 3 sentences. Like, I put out an album, it's like 30 minutes long, has 70 jokes on it. So yeah, I don't respect the craft. I'm just funny. Like, people don't like that. They'd rather work with someone who isn't funny but shows effort. I'm effortlessly funny. Sorry. That's why I started this podcast. I've always had the ability to kill with stream of consciousness because I have a weird consciousness, dude. I was called weird straight out of the womb. Like, I was called a school shooter before school shootings were even a thing. That's how fucking weird I am. People predicted that some other people would bring a gun to school and shoot people just by looking at my face. So if I come off as bitter, that's why. But everyone goes through shit like that. Everyone is judged. I don't worry about being likable because most people who don't like me, I've noticed, are also people I don't like. So it works out. Also, what's wrong with dating a comic? What, just because it annoys other comics? Who cares, dude? Jealous sex is the best kind of sex, dude. Like, one time I had a girlfriend who was a comic. She started fights with me for being more popular than her. Like, I'm not popular, dude. Like, if you haven't noticed, so that's why I knew it was a toxic situation. I could understand if I was actually popular, but also, hey, I earned all the respect I have. It's not like they are handing out rewards to untalented white guys in this community. Anyway, that was the most diatribe. That was the most intense diatribe as I've ever done on this show. But you're listening to Scary Ideas, dude. This is the podcast that we do not beat around the bush on, dude. I will talk about literally anything on here that is scary. If it's not scary, I'm not going to talk about it. Anyway, dude, that was the opening diatribe, and I did not start recording at the right time, so half of it's not even going to make it into the episode. So let's just start here. All right, Scary Ideas, dude. We're going to start off. This is episode 3. We're going to start off with a very boring topic. Very boring topic. Growing marijuana. I have a medical marijuana card, which means I'm allowed to smoke as much herb as I could fill my lungs with at any given time. Because I could get like 2.5 ounces every week or something. It's a weird number. Like, why 2.5? Why not 2 or 3? Why not round up to 3? But they just discovered that 2.5 ounces per every 2 weeks or whatever is enough. I'm pretty sure it's every 2 weeks. I get 2.5 ounces every 2 weeks. And so I don't smoke that much. I don't know anyone who does go through 2.5 ounces every 2 weeks. Like, how nuts would you have? Like, that's a lot. That's more than a gram a day or something. I mean, I'm just saying. So anyway, like, Illinois is where I live, and they are passing this legalization thing for marijuana. And if you have a medical card, they told me that I could grow it up to like 1 million plants or something, like 4 plants or something, which is the same thing as 1 million plants if you're if you're just one person. Like, who gives a crap? So this is where I get to actually talk about that because it's not illegal. I'm not gonna start doing it until it's allowed. But check that out. Check out all those plants. You just like, even if it sucks, like I'm not trying to become the next marijuana genius grower. It's just cool that I can do it. I could stink up the whole apartment with the smell of marijuana plants, and they'll be like, dude, can you please not do that? And I'll be like, yeah, dude, can you please respect my medical disease? Can you realize that I need 4 plants growing at all times, or else how am I going to get healthy? Like, do you not respect medicine? So yeah, I'm going to grow 4 plants, just like in this picture right here. That's more than 4. That's like 8. Okay, enough about marijuana. I don't even care that much. The reason I'm so pissed off is because I haven't smoked any today. And by the way, I don't smoke it. I vape it, dude. Vaping marijuana, it's healthier, better, cooler, sexier than smoking it. Like smoking it, like fuck combustion, dude. There's a website called fuckcombustion.com. That's where I first learned that that's where I was told that smoking is dumb, dude. And smoking cigarettes is dumb. Like, I don't know, it's just bad for you and addictive, and that's it. But who cares? I'm not talking shit. Like, I love cigarette. I think it's cool to smoke cigarette. Like, I would be smoking it right now if I could. Just for the effect. Like, the effect is cool. Like, smoking is cool. So I don't care. I'm not saying not to do it. I'm just saying it's dumb and cool at the same time. It's a simultaneous thing. Anyway, we got a call-in number right up there. So if you want to call me and interrupt me, good luck. You got balls if you're doing that, because I'm very scary to talk to, dude. I'm not a friendly guy at all. This is not a friendly podcast at all. No, it is. I would be nice. Anyway, the first topic of the evening was growing marijuana, but it was a really dumb thing to talk about. It didn't go anywhere. Let's talk about basic logic. I feel like people don't understand basic logic, like logic gates. Like, what don't you understand about this picture, dude? 0, not 1. 0, 0, and 0 and 0, 0. 0, 1, and actually, I have no idea what the hell I'm talking about right now, dude. I have zero idea what a logic gate is. What's a logic gate? Basic concepts of logic. Please just give me the Wikipedia article. Please just give me the Wikipedia. So logic is the systematic study of the form of valid inference, and it's the most general laws of truth. So basically, it's how you get to truth, I guess. A valid inference is one where there is a specific relation of logical support between the assumptions of the inference and its conclusion. In ordinary discourse, inferences may be signified by words such as therefore, thus, hence, ergo, and so on. I hate people who say ergo, or hence, or thus, or therefore. It's such a pedantic thing to do, to say therefore. Dude, hey, I was going to the store and there's no toilet paper. Therefore, fuck that place. I don't know. So anyway, I do think that logic is an underappreciated thing these days, because propaganda is basically where people get their information. That's where they get their opinions from. They get their opinions from propaganda. They don't use logic or think for themselves. Like Timothy Leary said to think for yourself. Like, he's not an asshole. He was just saying, like, yo, you should think for yourself. See how it says right there? Think for yourself and question authority. This guy knows what he's talking about. He did drugs. Women who seek to be equal with men lack ambition? What? That sounds... I don't know. You said that. Women who seek to be equal with men lack... So I guess he's saying to be better than men? He's going like full feminist or something. He's going more than feminism. He's going like women should be... I really don't know what he meant by that at all. You're only as young as the last time you changed your mind. See, I like that. I like that because that's kind of what I was talking about with the whole thinking for yourself thing, like in logic and propaganda. Like if someone tells you something that they want you to believe and you believe it, that's fine. Like if you believe that there's concentration camps on the border, fine. But what would it take you to change your mind about that? Nothing? Oh, well then you're a dick. That's what he's saying. He's saying exactly what I just said. Verbatim, dude. Timothy Leary has the same first name as me. That's the only reason I like him. Otherwise, I would think he was a hack. No, of course that's not true, dude. I think people with the same name as me could suck a dick, to be honest, dude. No, he's cool. Here he is in 1989. That's when I was born. Dude, he looks old as fuck in 89. I was not even alive when that picture was taken, dude. So he was born in 1920, dude. So he used LSD and developed a philosophy of mind expansion and personal truth. That's cool. I mean, it sounds kind of cocky to just say that on his Wikipedia. Like, that's a pretty interesting thing to just say that he did. Oh, it's just a philosophy. Oh, okay, big deal. It's not... I thought it said that he just expanded his mind from acid. He went to Harvard, so that means take everything he says with a grain of salt, because that's a shitty school. Anyone could get into Harvard. It's 22,000 students. So that's pretty much every student in the whole country. Like, when was the last time you met a college student? I haven't met a college student in like 4 years. Harvard's alumni include 8 U.S. presidents and more than 30 foreign heads of state and 62 living billionaires. That's it. Columbia College has probably like 100 billionaires. Like, let's look up that. Columbia College, Chicago. Like, people who go to Columbia College are very successful. It has a 43% graduation rate. I'm not laughing because that's bad. I'm laughing because that's abysmal. And the people spend $43,000 a year. What? To go to Columbia? What? Anyway, so how many billionaires have they produced? Let's see. The endowment is $140 million, so that's less than $1 billion. So I'm guessing they don't have that many billionaires. It doesn't really say anything impressive here. Like, it just says it has this many students. It was founded then and has 60 undergraduate programs. So where's the impressive shit? There's literally nothing they have to say about it that's prestigious. They're just saying, yeah, you know, photography. And it's not affiliated with the real Columbia University or the Columbia College Hollywood or any Columbia College in the United States. They're basically just disavowing it. They're just saying, no, it's not the real Columbia College. It's just its own shitty thing. I'm not saying this is a shitty school. I'm just saying compared to this, it's a shitty school. This school, the real Columbia, has $10 billion in endowment. Oh, 38 living billionaires compared to 0 at Columbia. I'm not saying there's 0, it just says there's probably 0. There's probably 0 living billionaires. Like even the school itself does not have $1 billion. Meanwhile, Columbia has $10 billion endowment. I don't really know what endowment means. It's just, it has to do with money of some kind. It has to do with money. That's all I know. I don't know how we got on a tangent about how Columbia is a bad school, but it was not that hard to do. It kind of happened naturally. We were talking about logic. Well, Bon Traeger said something. What do you think about Terrence McKenna? I think he's a badass motherfucker, dude. Terrence McKenna, he has a weird voice. Like he kind of sounds like a Muppet. Let's pull up a video of him so I can make fun of his voice. That's all we're going to do on this podcast. We're not going deep tonight. We're just going surface level insults. Here we go. That was loud. Let me turn this shit down. That is annoying. I'm very irritable right now, so I'm drinking.
Okay, Terrence McKenna.
No, that's not him.
I love Terrence. Okay, the discipline.
Who is this douche? Did I click on you? No, I want this dude. I want to hear his actual voice.
The issue that covers around the psychedelic experience, it was mentioned last night. It's strong in my life. I haven't found any real solution.
Doesn't he sound funny?
Hold your nose and
sounds
jump.
Hilarious.
But the issue is surrender. This is something real.
This is something
real. You don't find
real.
people going into the ashram in the morning to meditate with their knees knocking in fear because of how terrifying and profound they know that meditation is going to be. But if they were going
what was funny about that? What was the joke? Oh, there's okay.
In there to smoke
Easy
DMT,
room.
you know, they would be full.
Ooh, smoking DMT. Now that's scary, dude. He looks cool as fuck, dude. Like, look at his beard and hair. He looks like Jesus if Jesus was afraid of, if he was having like an existential crisis. I'm sure Jesus has had an existential crisis. Like, can you imagine being Jesus? Like, and also tripping on mushrooms as Jesus? Like, someone would come up to you, like, dude, the Lord, can you help me out with this? I'm struggling with this. Can you? And he'll be like, not now, dude. I'm tripping balls, dude. Unless you are gonna like explain what's going on, please get the fuck away from me. And then someone will die. Like, just imagine Jesus freaking out on shrooms. Terrence McKenna, though, I have nothing bad to say about him. He seems like a very intellectual type guy who knows a lot about magical mushrooms and DMT. I did DMT once, legal, in Africa. No, I didn't do it in Africa. It's really weird. Like, you take a hit, you hold it in as long as you can, and then as you're letting it out, it turns into like plastic. Like, the smoke turns into like this weird plastic, and then your whole reality turns into like pixels and virtual, like a video game. I can't describe it, dude. It's indescribable, but it's just the most intense thing. It's like a roller coaster, but for your mind. And it's not just like a pussy. It's not like a Bunny Hill roller coaster for kids. It's like Rage and Bowl. It's like it's the kind that you go upside. It's like Shockwave at Great American Flags, Six Flags, Great America, Shockwave. It's a roller coaster that's no longer there. So I'm going to pull up a picture so you guys know what it looks like. It's a scary coaster, dude. Shockwave. It's not that. It's this. See how scary that looks? See that thing? The blue loop-de-loops and how big the drop is initially? That's a scary coaster. And that is exactly how DMT feels. It's being on that roller coaster. That one right there. I've done it. I've been on that roller coaster. It was not as scary as DMT. Okay, sorry. DMT, it's weird. It's nuts, dude. But I don't really want to talk about that because I was not. Who cares? If someone wants to call in to challenge me on how boring, if someone wants to say that DMT is not intense, go ahead. I'll be more than happy to heed that call. No one cares about you unless a bunch of other people already care about you, is what I've noticed. Like, if you're trying to make it as anything, as a success in showbiz or art, you have to have a following before you could get a following. Like, you need someone to talk about you in order for you to get somewhere. Like, you can't just be talented and expect the world to come to you. You have to have already a bunch of people talking about you. Then more people will join the bandwagon. And those people are just joining because they heard that someone said you were cool or something. Just like the Beatles. I already talked about this last week, I think, so I don't need to get more into it. But, like, the Beatles knew that it was dumb to think they were magical. Like, they were super interesting, but that doesn't mean they were special. Like, they were such a phenomenon that high school classes, like, studied their lyrics. So John Lennon was, like, fucking with them and wrote weird lyrics just to mess with them. Because he knew that he was not special just because he was in a band. He was like, yeah, I'm just in a band. Like, don't think I'm like Jesus. Even though he said we're bigger than Jesus, he was obviously kidding. Like, if you actually took him literally, I mean, but also he was right. They were also bigger than Jesus in the sense that they were hipper than Jesus. It's hard to stay hip for 2,000 years. I mean, you can't blame Jesus for taking a back seat to the Beatles for like a couple months. I mean, Jesus is not even that popular anymore. Like, Jesus is popular, not in this country. People love talking shit about Christianity for some reason. I think that kind of was cool to do maybe like 10 or 20 years ago when the atheism wave kind of started happening, like Richard Dawkins, Sam Harris, Chris Hitchens. Speaking of Chris Hitchens, dude, let's just pull up the article that he wrote about women not being funny, because that's relevant, dude. That's a scary idea. It was on Vanity Fair. It's called Why Women Aren't Funny, and it's the picture is of a woman. I think that's a woman. She looks like a man. I don't know why that's the picture. Because she looks funny. Like, she looks like a funny woman. Be your gender what it may, you will certainly have heard the following from a female friend who is enumerating the charms of a new male squeeze. He's really quite cute, and he's kind to my friends, and he knows all kinds of stuff, and he's so funny. If you find you're a guy and you know the man in question, you'll often have said to yourself, funny? He wouldn't know a joke if it came served on a bed of lettuce with soft baronazzi. Sorry, I don't know. However, there is something that you absolutely never hear from a male friend who's hymning his latest female love interest. She's real honey. What? No, she's a real honey, has a life of her own. And man, does she ever make him laugh. Wow, this guy's mean. Like, he's not afraid to say the truth. That's kind of why this is on this podcast, because I'm not either. Now, why is this? Why is this the case? I mean, why are women who have the whole male world at their mercy not funny? That's hilarious. They have the whole male world at their mercy. Please do not pretend not to know what I'm talking about. Like, he's like telling the audience, like, please, come on, don't, you know what I'm talking about. You know. All right, try it the other way. As the bishop said to the barmaid, why are men taken on average as a whole funnier than women? Well, first of all, that is the way to put it. That sentence right there. Why are men taken on average and as a whole funnier than women? That's the uncontroversial way of saying it. That's why there's more male comics than female comics, because on average, yes, there's more funny. I don't know. That's what I believe. That's what seems to be true, is that on average, as a whole, men are funnier than women. That's what he's saying. Well, for one thing, they had damn well better be. The chief task in life that a man has to perform is that of impressing the opposite sex. And Mother Nature, as we laughingly call her, is not so kind to men. In fact, she equips many fellows with very little armament for the struggle. And an average man has just one outside chance. He had better be able to make the lady laugh. Making them laugh has been one of the crucial preoccupations of my life. If you could stimulate her... this ad is pissing me off. If you can stimulate her to laughter, I'm talking about that real out loud, head back, mouth open explore the full horseshoe of relative, involuntary, full, and deep-throated mirth. The kind that's accompanied by shocked surprise and a slight... No, make that a loud peal of delight. Well, then you have at least caused her to loosen up and change her expression. I shall not elaborate further. Damn, this guy's witty. This guy's a sharp silver-toothed tongue. What did this guy say? Shouldn't it be alright? Shouldn't it be alright? Nick Kuntzman, what's up, dude? Please call in. The number is right up there. Please interrupt me to tell me that I'm wrong for reading this article. Women have no corresponding need to appeal to men in this way. All right, I get it. He's saying that men have to charm women by being funny. That's just kind of one of the natural orders of courting a woman. If you're a man, how do gay guys do it? Like, what do they just compete with each other? Like, what if one's funnier than the, like? Is it if I was gay in a gay or if I was just dating a dude, he better make me laugh. Like, I just feel like I'm just curious how that works. Because he's saying that's kind of part of the courting process for men to make women laugh. Women have no corresponding need to appeal to men in this way. They already appeal to men, if you catch my drift. Indeed, we now have all the joy of scientific study, which illuminates the difference at the Standard University School of Medicine. I'm not reading all that shit. All right, this guy is so hard. He's using all these fancy expressions and like, what does this word mean? Sigmoidoscope? Like, seriously? What does that mean? That is it's a medical examination of the large intestine from the rectum through the nearest part of the colon, the sigmoid colon. Dude, why is he using that word to say that women aren't funny? I don't get it. I mean, that's hilarious. I just don't get the context, and also I don't care because I'm not. It's not that interesting. So anyway, this guy clearly hates women. No. That's just what people would say, like in the comments. Is there a comment section that we could react to? No, there's no comment section on this website, dude. They're smart enough to know not to do that. But this article is famous because it's the only one of its kind, pretty much, and it's very succinct and gets to the point about humor. I don't know. It's an interesting subject, but also the response to it has usually just been, well, look at these funny women. We got Amy Schumer, we got Sarah Silverman, so clearly this guy's sexist because there's some funny women. That's the only response I've seen. I've never really seen anyone actually address it as correct. Because obviously there's funny women. He never said there wasn't funny women. He's saying on average men are funnier. And also he also said a lot of men are terribly unfunny. So it's tough for them because they kind of have to be funny and they're not. So most of them. So that's what he's saying, at least in the first part I read. Anyway, I don't know how he got on that. I have no idea how he got on that subject, dude. Dismantle the alt-right. That's the next topic. All right, so last week I talked about a anti-fascism website. It was called Refusing Fascism. No, it's called refusefascism.com. And they're basically just a radicalized propaganda group or something, activism group, who basically just asserts that there's fascism going on, but they don't really give any evidence. Like, I tried to find it. Okay, here we go. Never. Do I really think there's going to be evidence this time? I pretty much went through the whole website. Like, is this evidence? Like, wait, this might be evidence. It's indicted for crimes. Okay, this might be actually evidence. Okay, so indicted for crimes against Muslims. Muslims and refugees are full human beings, not people to be shunned, banned, and cast out, to be swallowed up by oceans and wars. Oceans? I don't know what that means. Is that literal? Trump's Muslim travel ban is largely in effect. Is this old? Is it really still in effect? All right, at least they got sources. Cool. The number of refugees allowed entry to the U.S. from... To be honest, this is not the most... This is like from 2018 mostly. Let's go to a more current one. Okay, waging war on LGBTQ people. Let's see this, because I'm not aware of this one. Women and LGBTQ people are full human beings. Not objects to be degraded, brutalized, demeaned. So what has the Trump regime done? They appointed this dude, Neil Gorsuch, vetted by Christian fundamentalists, whose core issue is overturning Roe versus Wade. What does that have to do with LGBT? I'm trying to think what that has anything to do with LGBT. Trump imposed a global gag rule denying funds to NGOs that perform or even refer women to abortion. So, wait, are women... Oh, on women and LGBTQ. Okay, so women and LGBTQ, same thing. I guess. I didn't know that. I don't know why you have to lump them together, but I guess that's what people do now. Just women are considered a minority, an oppressed group. Maybe they are. I mean, fine. I feel like everyone is oppressed then. If you're just saying women... Because there's a lot of women. It's like half the population. So anyway, this is about abortion services. Like, yeah, Trump is anti-abortion. We got that. So Trump's Health and Human Services appointed this guy, Alex Azar, and Diane Foley. Ooh, they're anti-abortion extremists who oppose all birth control and promote abstinence only. Is that an extreme? Yeah, that is pretty extreme to just say that you're oppose all birth control for sure. Trump overturned federal guidelines that mandated transgender students have the right to use public restrooms that match their gender identity. Okay. That's interesting. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that decision. I mean, I don't care. I mean, rescinds rules on bathrooms for transgenders. Okay. Yeah, that's from 2 years ago. A dozen cabinet members attend weekly fundamentalist biblical literalist study classes hosted by Pence on Capitol Hill. I don't like that. That teach that women with children should not work outside the home and homosexuality is... Really? Okay, I don't like that. Yeah, if Pence is doing that... Holy crap, that was a... Okay. Here he is as a Lego. They made him a Lego. To I don't know. It makes him look cute. Not scary. But they're afraid of him for some reason. Because they said he's dangerous. So, Pence is I guess, supposedly a fundamentalist Christian who teaches Bible. Who talks about the Bible on Capitol Hill. Yeah, I don't like... I don't agree with that. And I don't agree with him talking about how homosexuality is a sin. Okay, at least I got bullet points. I couldn't find these last time I criticized this website. I kind of am starting to see what they're saying. The Christian fundamentalist head of office of refugee resettlement, Scott Lloyd, ordered that all decisions about teenage detainees seeking abortion go through him personally. Okay. Yeah, so anti-abortion, yeah. Jeff Sessions ordered immigration judges to stop granting asylum for victims of domestic... That's weird. But that's just an immigration issue. I mean, so, yeah, anti-immigration. But this is for asylum for victims of... I don't know. Trump bragged about sexually... Yep, we know that. That one's famous. That's just locker room talk, though. That's what he said. I mean, that one is literally just a very weird thing that he said as a male, as a toxic dude. But we've all said shit like that. Trump has repeatedly placed men. I say it all the time on this podcast about sexual conquest. So anyway, Trump, in a lewd manner, Trump has repeatedly placed men in high positions in his campaign for government, despite it without suit. At least 19 women have accused Trump of sexual violations, from groping to rape. Yeah. Trump expanded religious exceptions. The Supreme Court upheld the right of... oh, yeah, this one was famous. The bakery that refused to sell a wedding cake to a gay couple. I can't believe that went to the Supreme Court. And also, what does that have to do with Trump? I guess because... I don't know. Trump overturned a requirement that companies comply with laws about gender, sexual orientation, discrimination, or super. Yeah, that one is controversial. But also, I'm too tired to defend it. But there's a lot of stuff. And that's why they're so mad. Look at these mad people. Oh, never mind. These are white supremacists. Never mind. I thought they were... yeah, they look like Nazis for sure. KKK/Nazi/what? Same thing. Is there really a difference? I mean, Nazi is just something people call white supremacists, even if they don't identify as Nazis. But if they're KKK, that's like an actual organization, kind of. Like, not all white supremacists are KKK, not all Nazis are KKK, etc., etc. But who cares? So this does have a lot of shit that I cannot... like, this would take a long time to go after either one. And also, I can't defend every one of these because I don't agree with everything that the Trump-Pence regime does. But let's go to the point of this topic was to go into the alt-right and dismantle the alt-right. Because I've already criticized this propaganda site, or whatever it is. I want to criticize an alt-right site. So let's go to KKK. Nah, I don't feel like going to KKK.com. Anyway, right now we got this script. So this is a script that someone wrote about me. Nick Kuntzman. Sorry for calling you a cunt. I think... for the oceans bit, she's referring to the captain who rescued refugees who were adrift. Gotcha. Thank you for clarifying that. So they did literally mean just letting people stay in the ocean and just fend for themselves in the ocean. I'm not trying to make light of it. That sounds horrible. It's also kind of funny because I'm not the victim. I'm just an American in my comfortable air-conditioned apartment. Very far from the ocean, baby. Sorry for sniffling a lot. I'm sick. Okay, so anyway, this script is someone who wrote it about me. I don't know if he wants his name anywhere on this. Like, I highly doubt he wants his name mentioned because this is a very controversial podcast. But anyway, I'm not going to say his first name, but it's already there. Who cares? Okay, the Chicago comedian who loved Trump. Fade in. Interior open mic at a bar. Night. Screen is black. We hear bar sounds. Establishing outside shot of a noisy bar. Bottles litter the side of the bar. Jump cut to the back of Tim's silhouette. Tim is a young comedian. Close up on Tim's face. Sweat drips on the mic. Tim's eyes dart around, looking, scanning the audience nervously. Tim. So... I guess you guys didn't like that one. I tell you, it's hard being a Trump supporter. Everyone's liberal here in Chicago. Audience quietly. You suck. Jump cut. Blonde girl is giving an inquisitive look. Tim. It's like, why not build a wall? The Pope has a wall. Tim is sitting at the bar with a friend. The friend is black and stylish. He's wearing a fedora. Friend. Should I read it in a black accent? No. Come on, Tim. This just isn't your crowd. We're in Chicago, Lincoln Park. Tim takes a drink from his drink. I know. Friend drinks from his water bottle and shaking his head. An audience member comes up to the friend to say hi. They say hi, and the friend continues to talk to Tim. Friend, why do you do it? Tim points to the water bottle with his face. Tim, still trying to save money? Yeah, rent's due, and you know we get paid nothing. Well, I may have bombed, but I still got this drink. Tim looks at it and drinks it. Tim continued. Gotta go. Wanna go to Cubes? Tim gets up. Friend. Nah, heading home after this, waiting for Todd to get done with his set. But there should be a few people here going, so you should see a few over there. Tim. Cool. Tim waves goodbye to friend. Tim sees a blonde girl. He nods at her. She rolls her eyes. External Lakeview neighborhood sidewalk. Night. Tim walks away from the bar. There are a couple of empty bottles on at the end of the sidewalk. They're next to a pile of trash that's left out for the garbage man. One of the bottles is broken. A stranger, who's a male, is trying to get the attention of Tim. Stranger. Hey, yo. Jump cut. Tim's face is perplexed. The stranger finally reaches Tim. The stranger puts his hand on Tim's shoulder. With the other hand, the stranger's trying to hide a cigarette, but the attempt is clumsy. Hey, man. Stranger. I liked your bit on coke. It was awesome. The stranger looks around. Stranger continued. I didn't like the pro-Trump stuff. The cigarette's burning down, and the stranger's fingers are starting to feel the glow of the cigarette. Close up of the cigarette and the glow. The stranger, while holding the cigarette, pushes the cigarette up in his thumb and takes, a puff. Sorry, I was looking at something. This script is nuts. Okay, stranger continued. Got any on you? What do you mean? Coke, you got any? It was just a bit in my set, just a joke. Tim turns to walk away. The stranger then tries to go through Tim's pocket. Tim, get away from me. The stranger rummages through Tim's pockets. He gets closer to Tim, accidentally burning Tim on the hand. Tim jerks his hand, causing the cigarette to fly into the air. The stranger looks at his cigarette hand. His cigarette hand? It's empty. Close up on stranger's angry face, the stranger pushes Tim away to get the cigarette, now on the ground. Tim falls onto a small broken bottle and gets cut around the abdomen area. There's a trickle of blood. After quickly retrieving the cigarette, the stranger sees the crushed bottle and blood. He raises his hands. Sorry, didn't mean to. The stranger quickly walks away, picking up his cigarette from the ground. Tim stands up and smirks to himself. Great. Tim continues to walk. Close up of the small trickle of blood. Interior mic at Cubes Bar. Night. Match cut to trickle of blood at Cubes. Tim is doing his set. Trump. Tim looks around trying to survey the audience. Trump, putting pressure on a small wound. What can you say? There's an awkward silence. Trump. I hate Trump. The audience starts to chatter. There's more noise. Audience member. Hell yeah, Trump sucks. Tim smiles. Close up of Tim's wound. It's bleeding a bit more. With his non-microphone hand, he puts a little pressure on it. Nobody else notices the blood. You know what? Trump sucks. I call him the divider in chief. Have you noticed ever since he's been in office, there hasn't been any freedom of expression? Fuck Trump. What has he done for me? Tim collapses on stage. Camera from top view. Grasp from the audience. Cut to black. Sounds of chairs being pushed away and footsteps of a person walking to Tim. Friend, voiceover. Fuck, Tim. You stupid motherfucker. What you do now? The end. So that was beautiful. It ends with me just dying or something. That was dope, dude. So anyway, that was written by a friend of mine who I met at a show that I do every Monday. I'm not gonna plug it because I don't want people knowing that I just don't want to give them a bad name. Never mind. It's called The Degenerates. It's at a live one every Monday. Okay, at 9:30 p.m. I'll be there tomorrow, maybe, if I'm not still sick. Doing a podcast sick is not that hard, though. Who cares? So that was the script about the comedian, the Chicago comedian who loved Trump. Speaking of Trump, I'm bored by people not into politics, you know? Like, like people, like those who are into the stock, like, okay, I'm skipping this topic. Who cares, dude? Who cares, dude? Politics are like the stock market. Like, the parties are like companies. They gain and lose points every day. Right now, the Republican stock is a little bit higher, I think. The Democrats seem to be acting like children because they're losing. Yeah. Let's talk about BLEXIT. Hold on. Let me turn off the microphone for a second. Yeah, I had to do some. Dude, let's talk about BLEXIT. It's something that I don't know that much about, but Candace Owens talks about it a lot. If you don't know who Candace Owens is, she's this chick who talks a lot, who's on the right. She's a right-wing political commentator or something. She's a conservative commentator and political activist, and she's killing it right now. She's super successful at what she does and has a lot of followers on Twitter, I assume. She's got 1.6 million, so that's pretty whatever, I don't know. So she talks about BLEXIT, I assume, because she came up. She's the second result on Google when you type BLEXIT. So I think she kind of coined the term, maybe. And so we got this website. It's called We Free. We fucking free up in here. It's pretty dope. This is like the opposite of Black Lives Matter. It's basically like, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It's just kind of cool. It's like, dude, we free. BLEXIT's a frequency for those who've released themselves from the political orthodoxy. It's a rebellion led by the Americans wishing to disrupt the simulation of fear. BLEXIT's a renaissance. It's our formal declaration of independence. How do I... Dude, look at that. Look at that dude. Look how symbolic that is. So, Bobby Buds. He says he can't call because he's hanging with friends, but next week he'll call in. Dude, I just want someone to get mad at me. Like, I like talking. I would talk to anybody, but I would love to have someone just put me in my place, dude. Because with that Antifa website, or whatever you call it, anti-fascism, I'm sure they have some good points, you know? Like dropping people into the ocean, like whatever. Like, I'm sure they have some good points. Like, obviously you can't just be on board with everything Trump Pence is doing. I'm not. BLEXIT is fueled by individuals who are questioning political dogma and choosing freedom over tyranny. These are their stories. Okay. What does this guy say?
Awakening of the minds of Black Americans that I believe will change the face of America forever. It's a movement of love and of understanding and of thought. It's a movement that says, I can choose to think and believe how I want to, based on my own research, and I will choose to love my brothers and sisters.
Yeah, but this guy's light-skinned, so he's not really black. No, I'm just kidding.
Regardless, I am so excited for what I see taking place in the hearts and minds of Black Americans around the country.
Okay, I get it, kind of. Not really. What about this chick? What's she saying?
Hi, I'm Megan Harris, and I'm a free thinker. Being a free thinker...
See, that's what I like. That's what I like. I like free thinkers.
...is so empowering. Knowing that I'm not formulating my decisions based on my identity and others who share my identity is incredibly powerful. It has allowed me to think for myself as an individual and critically think to evaluate different things.
Yeah, dude, like, same with me, dude. Like, fuck white people, dude. Like, I don't give a fuck.
In this crazy and beautiful world. Not only am I a free thinker, but I'm a conservative. I believe...
Oh, shit. She said she's a conservative. That's where she loses me.
Principles of conservatism, and I'm proud...
No, I'm just kidding. I was still
to say that in a time where the values are being completely diminished. Being able to see the BLEXIT of people in the Black community not being held down by the...
All right, she's too cocky. I want to see someone who doesn't know what they're talking about. Like this guy.
Why do you believe what you believe? Why do you say the things that you say? Are you taking the time to do your own homework and devising your own opinions, or is somebody else doing the thinking for you? The Black community has been lied to, disenfranchised, and pimped out by politicians.
Pimped out by politicians, dude. That's what they're saying. They're saying that if you vote Democrat, if you're Black and vote Democrat, you're kind of like a slave, basically. Like you're just a victim of propaganda, and they just want to perpetuate this feeling of being a victim and like, oh, yeah, you're Black, so you're not gonna make it, so you might as well just be treated special.
Activists and celebrities who use us for votes and their own financial gain. They tell us they're our saviors, while so many of our communities sit stagnant. It's like we're suffering through a collective Stockholm syndrome. So you know what? I'm happy to see BLEXIT. I think it represents a new evolution in collective free thinking and independence that will help lift our communities from the morass of decades of failed policies.
Fuck that guy's dope. I want to see someone who's not eloquent.
I was a Democrat my entire life.
All right, come on, this guy's too eloquent. I want to see someone who's like
when I
like halfway in, like
actually paying attention to the
not someone wearing a tuxedo. The cake.
Democratic Party is the party of the Ku Klux Klan. the Democratic
Ku Klux Klan.
The ones
let me hear that again. Let me hear that.
Going on.
I gotta hear that again. That was hilarious.
The party of the Ku Klux Klan.
The Ku Klux Klan. That's fucking hilarious. I'm not making fun of him because he's Black. I'm making fun of him because he's hilarious.
The Democratic Party was the ones who had all the lynchings going on, and it was the Republican Party. It was the Republican Party who taught blacks that there was the Second Amendment. That means the right to bear arms, to protect yourself. It was the Republican Party who broke up slavery. The Republicans did that, not the Democrats.
It's kind of controversial to say that, but it's funny to see him just rail on.
Not the Democrats.
This is so refreshing.
This is so refreshing. That's got to be a white guy saying that. That's got to be like a fucking the most neckbeard Southern-esque person. This is so refreshing, dude. You're fucking Black and you're saying all this white shit. You're saying all the shit that I say. This is refreshing as fuck.
Republicans did that. This is so not refreshing. The Democrats. Not the Democrats.
This is so refreshing.
This is so refreshing.
The Party is the party of the plantation politics. As long as you're on the plantation and you're getting free food stamps and you're getting free assistance.
Oh shit, he just compared food stamps to being on the plantation.
And you're on the mammary gland.
Mammary gland, dude.
America. You're kept on that plantation and you don't strive to be the best.
Yeah, do that Nazi salute. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't think he was actually doing a Nazi salute. It's funny though. Like, I mean, he kind of was. He kind of was. He kind of is.
Because you're on that plantation of the Democratic Party and the welfare system.
High five.
High five. He's like, dude, don't patronize me. That's the look he's making right now. It's like, dude, don't treat me like a child. Look at this. Look at that screenshot right there. Shut up. Get out of here. That's hilarious. Like, yeah, okay, I'll give you a high five. All right, that was the funniest one yet.
Well, actually, I'm going to be honest. I didn't get very involved with the voting and political aspect of our country until I would say...
Been doing this for almost an hour.
I would say President Clinton.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Of President George Bush. His time in the office and everything that went down with him and his father and all the wars and the stories of mass destruction and going to war and the 9/11 and all of those things that preceded President Obama.
Okay.
But I just became tired of, being looking at the state of our country.
All right, she's not eloquent at all. Like, I want to see someone who's
So,
like, she was just rambling.
here's kind of where I'm at with this, and the way I see it, the civil rights movement has turned into the civil rights industry. You have political leaders.
Oh shit! He went there, dude.
Now, who all they want to do is get reelected by capitalizing on white guilt and monetizing white guilt. So for every problem we have in the black community, all they do is blame white people. And they blame the legacy of Jim Crow and slavery for no matter what it is. And it's not really productive, man, because it never really addresses the core issues that are causing these problems, which means we never actually get to the point where we can determine solutions.
Okay.
If you look at certain metrics, man, even under Democrat leadership and electing all these people to office who say they have our best interests at heart, in some areas things have stayed the same. In some areas things have gotten considerably worse. When we look at income, the disparity in income between blacks and whites since the 50s and 60s has actually grown. It's gotten worse. How is that? If it's because of the legacy of slavery and Jim Crow, why is it the farther away we get from slavery and Jim
shit,
Crow,
he's dropping truth bombs,
that disparity increases rather than contracts, right? If we look,
damn, that's a good way of putting it. Yeah, why is it that it gets bigger? That since if slavery and Jim Crow, if that's in the past, why is it still getting worse without those things existing? That's a good point. I don't know if that's the point he's making, actually.
Look at, excuse me, if we look at the unemployment rate, the black unemployment rate has pretty much been double that of whites since that time.
Oh, shit!
In that area.
He went
But
there.
we're
He's
supposed
not
to still
afraid.
sit here and just blame slavery? Just blame the legacy of Jim Crow? It doesn't make any sense because their policies don't make any sense.
It don't make no sense.
Yet they keep asking to be reelected, and we keep electing him over and over and over again, and nothing changes. Nothing gets better. Things get worse. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, this guy knows what he's talking about. He knows what he's talking about, dude.
These are your rights. They are not my rights. I am a defender of your rights. Now, as it relates to the Second Amendment,
why is there no white people on this website?
It has special meaning to me. And here's why. As you know, when this country was formed, this Constitution didn't apply to the slaves. But guess what?
I don't know why that was funny.
This Constitution allowed...
I don't know why that was funny to me, but it was.
The brilliance of the Founding Fathers. This Constitution allowed for us to eventually get it right.
Oh, shit. He's defending the Constitution, and he's black. He went there, dude. And he's wearing a military uniform. He likes America. Oh, that's a faux pas. Faux pas.
Problems with the black community is how we're perceived. So look, when he's talking about rap, when you compare it to the statistics, how 40% of violent crimes are committed by young black men. Hold on.
Oh shit, he went there. He said a racist fact. That's a racist fact. Let's replay that. That racist fact. This guy just said something very racist. Here we go.
Crimes are committed by young black men. Hold on. When you compare it to the statistics, how 40% of violent crimes are committed by young black men.
Oh shit! What you got on that? What you gonna say about that? He just dropped a fucking truth bomb.
Hold on.
That's a triggering thing to say. Even if you're black.
Hold on. It's a perception. It is a perception. When we talk about, you go on the internet and we talk about selling drugs, pimping women, armed trafficking, fraud, and all these things, and people who don't live in black neighborhoods, people who don't live in black neighborhoods, gentry neighborhoods, all they see is what they know online.
The White House is
and it is a perception. And when we hear police officers, 40% of the police officers who were killed in the line of duty were killed by young black men. It is
oh shit!
only reasonable sometimes. Not saying this is bad. Sometimes it is reasonable for a police officer to handle black men with a little bit more caution.
Oh No, you did not just say that, dude. You did not just say that it's okay to racially profile. You did not just say that, dude. He said it.
And it is for a 5'2" Chinese man.
Oh, shit, dude. Did he just go there? Did he just go there, dude? You're saying you're not supposed to be as suspicious as a 5'2" Chinese guy? Dude, he went. I can't believe he said that.
Really think that Mr. Trump cares about you?
He's hired more black people than probably you have. Hired more Latinos, more Muslims than anybody else.
Muslims?
Obama's killed more Muslims.
What the fuck did he just say? Did you just say something about Muslims?
Muslims than anybody else has. Obama's killed more Muslims than Donald Trump.
Oh shit, dude. Did you hear that? He said Obama killed more Muslims than Donald Trump. This is getting too intense for me. This guy was the most intense dude yet. I'm going to make a clip of this and put it on every Black Lives Matter group. Not that I'm saying anything new. They know about all these things. But it's just hilarious.
It is not based upon the color of his skin, but it's about the content of his character.
Oh, shit. He's quoting Martin Luther King, dude.
And the sad thing is that when America is not at its best, you have people like Barack Obama and Eric Holder that want to complain about skin color because they're devoid of character. That's the difference between America at its best and America not at its best.
Dude, he just criticized Obama while being black. Dude, that takes balls. Respect. Let's see what this guy. What's Morgan Freeman got to, or whatever? Yeah, Morgan Freeman. Come on.
It is not based upon the.
Morgan Freeman.
Do you think that race plays a part?
Oh shit, this is gonna be good.
Distribution, or either a mindset that you can't
or
cannot? Yeah. No.
Oh shit, dude! Did you hear that truth bomb he just dropped there? He just said, "Nah, right today, nah." Fuck. Let's play that again.
Do you think that race plays a part in wealth distribution, or either a mindset that you can't or cannot? Yeah.
No.
Woo!
No, I don't. I don't. You and I, we're proof.
Oh shit!
Put your mind to what you want to do. And
dude, look at Cory Booker. Look how pissed he is.
It's kind
He's like, what's this guy that I respect doing saying a bunch of shit I disagree with?
Like religion to me. It's a good excuse for not getting there.
Oh,
shit. And it's probably get me in trouble, but I said to some of my colleagues recently, so I know that it's an issue, but it seems like every single day on television I'm talking about race, and it's because of the news cycle, it's in the news, but sometimes I get so tired of talking about it, I want to just go, this is over, can we move on?
And if you talk about it, it exists.
Right.
Yeah. It's not like it exists and we refuse to talk about it, but making it a bigger issue than it needs to be is the problem we have.
Oh shit, he's saying what white people say. That ain't cool, man. That don't jibe with the Cory Booker. Oh man, that's hilarious.
He was Senator Brooke, and he said that the Moses generation, the generation of Martin Luther King, had gotten us 90% of the way there. Our generation, he referred to his own generation as the Joshua generation, has to get us the rest of the 10%. Eric Holder has frequently talked about the pernicious racism in America, gave a speech a few weeks ago where he outlined what he called pernicious racism. It included things like photo voter ID, which most blacks support, different expulsion rates, which happens no matter what the school district is around the country, and he also mentioned different sentencing arrest rates when the Sentencing Commission, excuse me.
These guys are not enjoying what he's saying right now. Look how pissed off they look.
He mentioned different sentencing rates when the commission has said that those different rates, and it is true that blacks are sentenced somewhat longer than whites for the same crime, but the reason are legitimate factors, including arrest records.
Oh, shit. He went there. He said it's okay that black people get longer sentences because they have crime, they have arrest records. He went there. They're not gonna like that.
So when you look at the racism that Obama talks about, I'm trying to figure out what it actually is talking about that is as important as the problem of the absence of fathers in the black community.
Oh, shit, dude. Is he saying that you need a father to have a good life, dude? He went there? I can't believe he said that on fucking TV, dude. He said that you need a father to maybe not become a criminal? Dude, that's the craziest, that's the most controversial thing ever. It's not actually that controversial. I don't know.
That are raised without fathers. And that has every other social negative consequence connected to it. Crime, not being able to compete economically in the country, being more likely to be arrested. That's the number one problem facing the black community. When I hear
Are you saying women can't raise kids good on their own, Mr. Elder? Are you saying that shit, Mr. Larry Elder, dude? That's racist, dude. Or sexist or something. I don't know.
People tell me about systemic racism or unconscious racism. I always say, give me an example.
All right, I think we get the point. Like, they covered a lot of the points they're making here. Like, the points about Democrats just wanting to treat them, the black community, as perpetual victims and, Chicago. We the free. Chicago, coming soon. What's coming soon? Oh, events. So yeah, BLEXIT is whatever. It's just a small movement. It's not that big. The website is not that popular. And then there's Blackout. Blackout's another one. But I don't think it's going to be easy to look up. Is this it? No. Is it called Blackout? I think it's called Blackout. Blackout Movement? We already covered it, though. It's the same thing. Yeah, the Blackout Movement? Nah. This is just some stupid songwriting team. I guess I don't know what I'm talking about. No, this is it. This is it right here. Okay, it's another website with a cool background and shit. So, what are they saying? What's Blackout Day? The Blackout is the name of the movement behind the hashtag Blackout Day, a quarterly call to action to redefine blackness that takes place on the 6th day of every third month, starting from March 6th. This is our way of talking about blackness and how we can see ourselves regardless of age, background, size, gender, etc. We welcome you to define blackness on your own terms, simply by being yourself and showing us what you can do. So they're for the individual, it seems like. Just like kind of Republicans.
Hi, Marissa Ray here, CEO and co-creator of...
Boring! Just give me a bunch of crazy people. Just give me a bunch of people just talking out of the side of their mouth. Not someone who's just going to be all like marketing and shit. Yeah, this one's even boring. This one's really boring. Like, I like BLEXIT better because it sounds cool. And it sounds like Brexit, which is like super controversial. Like, everyone hates Brexit except for conservatives. So BLEXIT was more fun. And then I was going to talk about like racial gatekeeping. But that's boring. Like, even as someone who's half Jewish, like, people love to tell me that I'm not really Jewish because I don't have a Jewish mother. Let me go back to my main... yeah, like, I don't have a Jewish mother, but I have a full Jewish father, so I'm half Jew. I have 50% Ashkenazi in, like, blood. So I'm half Jewish by blood, but according to most people, that means I'm not Jewish at all, because I don't have a Jewish mother. But who cares? I mean, most Jews already don't care about going to temple as it is, so what's the difference if I'm religiously Jewish versus culturally Jewish? I have Jewish blood. I am Jewish in the sense that I get easily ticked off by slight changes in temperature, and I like to complain. I'm very particular, and I'm attracted to Jewish women. So there you go. That's all you really need to know. And it's similar with blacks, how they if you're half black, you might not be treated as legitimately black by the black community. And you might get cast away from the black community if you say shit like they say on the BLEXIT website. Like Kanye West. He's basically full BLEXIT. He was cast away from the black community. Also because he's rich. That doesn't look good to be rich. Because he's not a victim anymore. He doesn't act like a victim. And they don't like that. So that's why they kind of disavow him now. Like they say, oh yeah, he's still talented. His music's still great. But, he's got bipolar or something. That's what they say. I don't think he actually has bipolar. That's what people say to disavow him. Because they don't like that he's a BLEXITer. Anyway, this was a very fun topic to get into. Hopefully I'll have someone on who actually disagrees with me on this issue. What did Kanye West went to Columbia and dropped That's hilarious. So we were talking about Columbia earlier, Columbia College, how they have like a 40% graduation rate, and Bontrager just said Kanye is one of the people who did not graduate from there. So hey, I guess that changes my mind about Columbia. If Kanye went there, then hey, it's the coolest college ever, dude. He's a BLEXIT. No, I don't care. That's hilarious. So anyway, and okay, there's more on the racial gatekeeping subject. Yeah, like if you're someone who's a BLEXITer, like Candace Owens, you could get called a white supremacist, even if you're black. It's kind of like the Dave Chappelle sketch, but in real life, like a black white supremacist. People are actually, that's becoming a so-called reality. I don't think it's reality, but people think it is. They think that Dave Chappelle's sketch is actually real life. And Jews with moderate political beliefs are called alt-right. Like, I can't think of an example. Like, I'm not Jew. I don't really identify as Jewish, but like Dennis Prager, Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro is not moderate. He's pretty far. He's right. He's right wing. That doesn't mean he's all right. He's not a white supremacist. He's not a Nazi. Like, he's been called a Nazi, but he's an Orthodox Jew. Not that Nazi's a loose term. Like, I'm pretty sure the definition of Nazi now just means it's synonymous with white supremacist. You don't have to be white to be a Nazi, though. You could be a Jew who's a Nazi, or a black Nazi. Is that crazy? Stereotypes are funny, but heck. Like, white people are often made fun of. I think white just means like bourgeoisie. Like, there's no such thing as like white culture. It's just middle class. Like, unless you're talking about like an actual specific country that happens to be like Germany, or like Norway. That's a culture. Like Sweden, that's culture. But is it white culture? No. So when someone makes fun of white people, they have to think of something to make fun of besides, which is usually just that they are vanilla, that they're soft. And I don't know, I don't really find that deep or funny or cutting. And people make fun of Jews for being cheap and shit. And that's just a dumb way of saying that Jews are conscientious. Jews make smart decisions with their money. Is that the same thing as being cheap? Yeah, kind of. It's being frugal. But like, Jews become doctors and lawyers very often because I think they're smart and they make informed decisions. Is that a stereotype? Yes. Is it funny? Yes. Is it hack to make fun of that? Kind of. But I don't care, because I'm not a good comedian, dude. Dude, I've been bombing, dude. Like, I don't have any sets to play. Like, I usually play like a clip from my comedy sets from the past week. I don't have any good ones. People hate anyone who's successful these days. Like, if you're successful and not a minority and not LGBTQ or not a woman, people are not for it. Like, no one wants to see another straight white male rise to the top. That's just how it is in this country. And that's fine, because it's cool to be oppressed. That's what I learned from the Democratic Party, is that it's cool to be oppressed. So eventually, it'll come back around. But meanwhile, I don't care, because everyone's oppressed in some way. Like, everyone's like, not really, not everyone. Depends what you mean by oppression. But also, I'm tired of talking about this, dude. I've laid out a lot of... Let's just find something to make fun of. Like, that BLEXIT shit was great, dude. But let's look at the KKK. What are they saying these days? What's the KKK doing these days? What are they up to these days? What are they up to, dude? How do you go to their website? Oh, you can't, because it's a hate website. That's right. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. You can't just go to a website. Like, they have a website. It's just not on Google, because Google is against hate speech. That's fine. I don't care. I still want to know. Let's go to kkk.org. Hopefully it's not a porn site. No, it's something weird. It has nothing to do with the Klan. Like, hate sites, hate speech is a weird thing. Hate speech. The definition of hate speech is abusive or threatening speech or writing that expresses prejudice against a particular group, especially on the basis of race, religion, or sexualization. Okay. So if you just hate, like, a company, that's fine. That's not a group. It is, but not really. Like, if you just say Google, like, fuck Google, that's not hate speech. If you say it about a person, that's not hate speech, because that's not a group. Like, if you say fuck Donald Trump, that's fine, because he's not a group. It has to be against a group, such as women. Nah, that's not race, religion, or something. Men, like if you just say, oh, fuck men, dude. Men are the worst. Is that hate speech? I don't know. It doesn't feel like it. It feels pretty natural to say. This is what I'm looking at. Let's go to YouTube, dude. Let's see what YouTube's doing. What video is this? A really random video about statistical analysis. Oh shit, you could see all the embarrassing things I looked up. You could see that I looked up all these karaoke songs in Emoji Heap. How do you say that? It's a good song, dude. Listen to this song. You know the song. This song's famous as fuck, dude. But the part where the chorus...
Cover the sweeping insensitivity of it. What you say? That you only meant well, cause you...
I don't want to get pulled from this, but or whatever. I don't want to get a copyright violation. But isn't that the most emotional drop in a song you've ever heard? Like, the first 2.5 minutes are garbage, but that part right there is like, what you say? Ooh, that always gets me every time. And that's why I'm an artist, because I love good art. Anyway, let's end on another topic that is very, very inflammatory, dude. Do video games cause violence? I don't know. It's a good question. Like, it's becoming relevant again to talk about if video games cause violence. And how do you prove that? It's such a vague thing to prove. And, like, there's these things that come up on Google that are being cited. These studies right here. What is this? This is a PDF. So this is a very fun part of the podcast where we just go through a PDF, a 23-page PDF that shows statistical analysis, that shows stats in a flow chart that says, okay, physical abuse and verbal abuse are family violence exposure, self-reported violence. This is deep. This is really tough to understand, to digest at first glance. I just want to know the answer. Just give me the answer. And these news stories are coming up. Walmart drops violent video game displays. Guns still for sale. That's pretty funny. It's like, dude, fuck, don't play video games, but you could buy guns. Don't blame video games for El Paso. Why video games aren't causing... Yeah, let's just go to Vox. Whatever, however you say it. Why video games aren't causing America's gun problem in one chart. I don't think they are, but like this is something that is this a left versus right issue? Like, are people on the right generally saying that guns cause violence? Because I certainly don't think they do. I play many violent video games, and it's fun. Like, it's just to burn steam, you know? When we look at the top video game consuming countries, there's one clear outlier. Republican leaders are again saying video games are the problem. After 2 deadly mass shootings, which killed more than 30 people, Kevin McCarthy said that video games dehumanize individuals. Really? Video games I think video games definitely dehumanize people. Like, if you're in a chat with somebody, if you're playing a game with somebody and you hate them because they're better than you, you don't think of them as human. You think of them as assholes. That's true that video games dehumanize people, but that's indirect. That's because the players dehumanize other players. You know? Like, of course, like, video games make me want to kill other video game players, but not random people. Like, if I'm losing, I go, fuck you, dude. There's plenty of research debunking video games as the cause. But since McCarthy and other Republicans continue to blame video games, here's a simple chart showing the top video games in countries and the number of violent gun deaths. So let's see. Ooh, one of these countries is an outlier. So it shows the number of video game revenue on the left by country per person, and violent gun deaths per 100,000. Wow, look at the difference. Look at America, how much it juts out. Look at America's dick. That's a big dick in terms of gun deaths. In South Korea and Japan, spend per person $150 on video games this year. That's a lot. That's per person. And look at how little gun deaths they have. So to think that video games are the culprit is based on this data is not convincing at all. And obviously America has a huge problem with gun deaths, but to say, doesn't seem like it's video games based on this data. So yeah, I agree with that. It's a short article though. They're just basically saying fuck all Republicans. They're dumb. They're dumb. We don't even need to spend more than one page debunking them. We're not going to play another podcast on this podcast, but we could. I was on a podcast last Saturday or 2 Saturdays ago. It's called Hillary with Bobby Buzz and Todd. I keep forgetting his last name. It doesn't matter. I don't need to say his full name, but it was a dope podcast, and I will play some of it on here. Let's go to. It's the fastest way to get to it. Shit. I'm not okay. Never mind. But yeah, being on other people's podcasts, way better than this one. This one is just me just being angry. But me on other podcasts, oh man, is that a good time. So anyway, I think video games don't cause violence, but why do they think it does? Why do Republicans think video games cause violence? They just want to blame something else besides guns.
We must stop the glorification of violence in our society. This includes the gruesome and grisly video games that are now commonplace.
Give me a break. And then they show Minecraft as an example of how dumb he is. Alright, I get it. I get it. Great. Hilarious. Doesn't really refute. Like, of course there's violent video games. But the glorification of violence? That's been going on forever, dude. That's kind of like... Is that a video game thing? I think we do glorify violence in the U.S. because we love fireworks, we love conquering. So I think that's just kind of inherent to be violent. If you like, but that's controversial to say that if you're American, you're inherently violent. But why is it then? Why is America so violent? Why is America so violent? You know you're good at Googling if you literally just Google a question. So here's a Vanity Fair article. Alright, so let's see. Why is America so freaking violent? Gun laws in America have barely changed despite hundreds of mass shootings over the past decade. Yet, when a gunman opened fire on 2 mosques in New Zealand, the country's leaders banned assault rifles less than a week later. Okay.
Welcome to Inside the Hot.
Eat a dick. Not playing a 50-minute thing. So this is the whole article, just a podcast. Damn, people don't even like to write anymore. Everyone just has a podcast. How annoying, dude. I didn't know you could get an assault rifle in the U.S. It seems kind of weird. Can you? Assault... Let's look up assault rifle, first of all. Get the definition of assault rifle. I didn't know you could get assault rifles in the U.S. So an assault rifle is a rapid-fire magazine-fed automatic rifle designed for infantry use. So it's only used for the army. And it's selective fire. That's what makes it an assault rifle. If you could go from automatic to semi-automatic. So they exist. Assault rifles are real. It's not just like a loaded term used by propaganda. They exist. Like, obviously we know they exist. AK-47. It's an assault rifle. So can you get them? How easy is it to get assault rifles in the US? Assault rifle, United States. Alright, here we go. Here we go. Give me the answer. Assault rifle enacted blah blah. So they're not banned. Attempts to renew this ban of fielding. Attempts to pass a new ban. Okay, this is a lot of information, dude. California. So it's by state. Wow. So I don't think it's illegal to have an assault to get... Yeah, I mean, I don't even think it should be illegal. I just think it should be hard to get one. Because why do you need an assault rifle? It's for weapons, for armies. Huh. But if you believe in in militias, then I guess that's why you might want an assault rifle if you want to use it on people. Dude, why would you... So, shotguns are banned in California? I don't get it. I'm pretty sure you could get an assault rifle if you really want one, but all these shootings are not done with assault rifles. They're done with AR-15s. AR-15s are just semi-auto. Yeah, it's a lightweight semi-auto. Holy crap. I am still sick. Okay. So why is it that AR-15s are used in mass shootings? What is, like? I guess because they're tactile. Like, they're very good. They're easy to kill people with. But it says right here, a majority of firearm-related homicides in the United States involve the use of handguns. Okay. And 14 out of 93 mass shootings involved high-capacity magazines or assault weapons. Nevertheless, AR-15 style rifles have played a prominent role in many high-profile mass shootings in the United States and have become widely characterized as the weapon of choice for perpetrators of these crimes. There's similar, yeah, Sandy Hook, San Bernardino, Las Vegas, Sutherland, Stoneman, Douglas. Yeah, like everyone agrees that AR-15s are used by people who commit these mass shootings for whatever reason. So I get why people would want to ban that specific thing, but then they'll just switch to something else probably. And so these AR-15s, like, why do they even make these? Why do they sell them? So they're considered sporting rifles, which means like hunting, I guess, or just shooting targets or something. Like, but they're used on people. They're used as assault. They're used to kill people. So they're the most beloved and vilified rifles in the U.S. Yeah. Like, the NRA likes them, but everyone else seems to hate them. It's a very controversial gun because it looks like an assault rifle. But technically it's not, but also it's still used to kill people more than any other gun pretty much in these high profile mass shootings. Not in all of them. Handguns are used in most homicides. Like, I don't know, dude. It's very complicated to decide why it should be okay to be able to buy this at Walmart or something. Like, can you imagine walking out of Walmart with one of those? Like, and then using it to hunt? Like, I don't know, dude. It's a but I don't care. Like, I'm a guns rights. I believe in the Second Amendment, because what if Trump actually is a fascist and he starts collecting people and putting them into slave camps or something? Well, we'd have to shoot him. I'm just saying, not him, but we'd have to defend ourselves against his tyranny. That's why I believe in the Second Amendment, because how else would we do that? Just by leaving, just by boating, just jumping on a boat? So that's why the Second Amendment exists. But that said, we also have a very disproportionate amount of gun violence in the U.S. Why? All right, I'll do more research on this next time I do this. And Bontrager said something. He said, first, you could buy a backpack full of any type of gun at a gun show. There is something called the gun show loophole. Yeah, let's look that up. The gun show loophole. Oh, wow. Look at all these results. So the gun show loophole. Whoa, that looks like an assault rifle, kind of. That is an assault rifle, I think. That's a high-capacity magazine. So it's a political term in the U.S. referring to the sale of firearms by private sellers, including those done at gun shows, that do not meet federal background check requirements. Yeah, it's scary. Yeah, because federal law requires that commercial gun sales, but they require background checks, but not for the private party sales, where any person Could sell a firearm to an unlicensed resident. Really? Yeah, they should definitely not let that happen. I mean, but Second Amendment people would still probably say that they want them, obviously, because Second Amendment gun nuts just want to be able to have access to guns. Like, basically like open borders, but for guns. They just basically just, which is nuts. I don't agree with that. I believe in background checks, and I believe in not having this loophole open. Like, obviously people are going to do it, though. You can't just stop the black market. And this isn't even really the black market, I don't think. This is like a gray area. So I want crazy people to not have access to guns, but I also want non-crazy people to have reasonable access to guns. So that's why I'm not just for banning them. You can't just ban something and expect it to go away. Like, that didn't work for alcohol. Doesn't work for drugs. That's what, anytime you try to ban something that people really demand, you create a black market. So you might as well just make it legal to get guns. Just also, see, that's a problem. Crazy people will continue to have a demand for guns. Like, just because you can't buy them at Walmart because you failed the background check, hey, doesn't mean you're not crazy anymore. You're still going to try to find a gun somehow. So we need to kill crazy people, basically. Like, here's my proposition. If you fail a background check, no, obviously I don't believe that. Like, we should just send them all to an island. Like, if you're crazy, actually no. See, all these ideas that solve this problem are extremely unpractical and controversial. Like, we can't just read people's minds. We can't just like do that and then say, "Oh, we just read your mind. We know you're gonna commit a shooting. Therefore, we're gonna round you. We're gonna arrest you." Because then they'd read all our thoughts, and that's privacy. That's basically like a surveillance state, a mind reading. But still, what's wrong with that? Like if we have just a machine that processes every single thought from every individual and only catches the bad stuff and just ignores all the whatever stuff. Like, if you just have like a business idea, it'll just ignore that. Obviously, it's controversial. But if it's just a trusted machine and it's decentralized, like Bitcoin or something, and all it cares about is the violent thoughts, then there might be some merit to that. If we could prevent violent crimes before they happen, kind of like Minority Report or something. Like, why not? There's got to be some... I don't think there's always going to be a solution for every problem. Like, sometimes violence is just so natural. Like, nature's violent. Like, it's violent to age. Like, aging is a violent process that takes many years. It's just slow. It's a slow form of violence. So nature itself is pro-violence. Like, to survive in nature, you have to bite other people. If you're an animal. Like, in the animal kingdom, you literally have to bite into another animal's neck to survive. So nature itself is pro-violence. But I'm not saying we should just be okay with mass shootings. But if nature itself is violent, you can't be surprised. Yeah, like, nature's fucked, dude. Like, we're fucked. That's why I don't get into... That's why I'm a politician. I think it's good to be a politician who's also a nihilist. There's not a lot of nihilistic politicians who just say, yeah, we're fucked. Yeah, I don't care. I mean, we're all going to die. So, in the meantime, let's just drink margaritas. That would be my platform. That'd be my, whatever you call it, my doctrine would just be, the world is fucked, let's drink alcohol. And I would get elected instantly in Texas or something. Like, there's not a lot of nihilistic politics. All politicians think they have the solution. They're, like, for any issue. Like, they'll go, okay, so what do you think about gun control? They'll be, okay, I'll tell you. Oh, don't get me started. I'll tell you our issue here. The issue. No. My stance on gun control, if I was a politician, would just be like, I don't know, dude. We're fucked. Just give me some vodka. That would be my position. That's it. That would be on the website. Like, okay, gun control. And then abortion. Same thing. It was big. I don't know, dude. Don't get me. Please, just go to the next guy. Like, if I was on the debates, on the Democratic debates or whatever, they'd be like, okay, Tim Weichselbaum, senator from Illinois or whatever. I would never be a senator in Illinois. Okay, Tim Weichselbaum, senator in Alabama. What do you think of gun control? I'd be like, next, you skip me. That'd be my response. And then if someone like actually said something that made me feel wrong in a debate, I would admit it. Like when Bernie Sanders totally owned that guy who called him, like the guy was like, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know that. Bernie was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I know what I'm talking about. I wrote the damn bill. The dude basically just stood there in silence. He was like he didn't say nothing. I would just be like, oh shit, fuck. You wrote the bill. Oh, okay. Fuck. I guess I'm out. You got me, dude. I'm quitting politics now. Like, that would be the end of my career right there. Like, why do I have to keep upholding things that are not true? That's what politics is. That's what all politicians do. They just keep acting as if they know the answer to everything. I would be the worst politician, dude. I wouldn't pay attention in the hearings, like the congressional hearings. I would just literally just be like staring at my phone the whole time, just talking. I'd be tweeting about it. I'd be live tweeting it, like, yep, I'm at the hearing, dude. I'm cool as hell, dude. I got elected. I make dude, I'm getting all these grants. I have a private house. This is awesome being a politician. And then they'd be like, okay, Congressman Weichselbaum, please respond to what Bernie said. I'd be like, oh, fuck. I was not paying attention, dude. This is like high school. Fuck. Anyway, this has been a great episode, dude. We covered a lot of stuff. It was long enough, though. It was long enough. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. This has been Scary Ideas, dude, with Tim Weichselbaum.
The Sergeant at Arms will restore order in the gallery.